I mean, and to be frank, like pretty much every gun's recoil is kind of shit now. Like full auto just is not as viable as it used to be, which I think is a really wonderful change. I still think there needs to be a little bit of balancing done though, because I don't think any rifle in the game should be able to go under 50 vertical recoil and like less than 100 and I don't know 80 horizontal. Seems VHG is making changes daily. Good sign. Oh yeah, totally, man. I mean, small tweaks and changes are very important. It helps shape EFT into a more robust game. You know, like changes to grenades and magazines in the container. Huge change. People have to risk their ammunition now. They're not, you know, going to be going into raids with 260 rounders and swapping out magazines in and out of the container in order to save their money. You know, it's like if you want to have ammo with or good ammo and mags, like you got to bring that shit in your rig, and if you get killed, like somebody's gonna take your ammo and you have to risk that now. No more putting fucking impact grenades in your container and pulling them out when you need them, and no risk losing them. A lot of just good changes overall. I still don't think impact grenades should be at the traders. I think they should stay found in raid only, in grenade cases and shit. They should stay super rare that way. Any other pouch restrictions needed? I would personally like to see high value items no longer in the container. Mainly GPUs, bitcoins, rollers, gold chains, maybe even lab cards too, like no lab cards in the container. Because I think it would be very cool for players to have to actually risk losing these items if they find them in a raid. But other than that, I mean, you guys know me. I've always said that like nothing should go in the container in the raid. Like not even like if I wanted to put this grenade in here or this mag or this bulb in here, like just no, it shouldn't be able to go in there. Or even this med, like I shouldn't be able to put that in there during a raid. That's just I've been saying that for like 3-4 years. That's always been my mindset, but I'd rather have baby steps. I think that's actually good instead of like, you know, ripping the band-aid off. But you know, I'm happy with where the container is right now. The original idea was for no items in raid to ever be able to go in there. But they decided to, like, even Nikita told me this a year or two ago. He said the original idea for the container was to have nothing go in there in a raid, and it was used for just like securing items, right, like that. But or not like they're not like that. Sorry. Like again, I don't think you should be able to do that. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna keep that in there. So if somebody kills me, they get a marked key because I don't really need it. But you know, it's like it's cool that like if I couldn't put this in my sick case, I'd be like, oh shit, I found a marked key. Sweet. Okay, I have to survive now, which encourages you to get out of the raid. A lot of people would say, well, then people would just run out of the raid. So what? This game isn't meant to be, oh, I have a bunch of loot, let me go run at this dude and get into a PvP fight. It's about survival. The game is Escape from Tarkov at the end of the day. You know, we're meant to care about our lives. We're meant to care about our PMC because we're trying to get out of this hellhole that is Tarkov, right? But again, that's always just been my mindset on the container for a very long time, and I'm very stoic on that. But definitely nerfs the min maxers who love to like bring one mag of good ammo and just swap their shit out. More rage. I understand where you're coming from, man, but like I very dislike it when people bring arguments up like, well, why would they change this when cheaters are still in the game? Like, how does that apply to anything that we're discussing, man? It doesn't add to our conversation. It doesn't add to what we're specifically talking about. You're literally talking about an external issue caused by external cheat developers who are injecting cheats into this game. It is not even relevant to the specific issue, not even issue, just the subject we're talking about. It literally adds nothing to our discussion. You can't game design cheaters. That's just not how that is, man. I understand cheaters are frustrating. I understand that they are a problem, but there's literally nothing we can do, dude. There's nothing we can do, and it doesn't add to our conversation of what we are talking about right now. Is the USP better or the PL15? I don't know, preference, I guess. I'm just using this because it's new. It's not because it's like meta or anything. I mean, I like 45 AP because it does a lot of damage. It's blocking out legs and arms on the first shot, which is pretty awesome. So it's just 45 in general. Like it's good for close range. Whereas like the 5.7, for example, takes 2 shots to black out arms and legs, but it goes 720 meters per second. Out of the handgun itself, I think it's maybe like 600 meters per second, which is still super fast for a handgun. So you can really hit long range shots pretty easily. But even with the 45, like you saw me, you know, dome that scout from like 75 meters away. That wasn't really that hard. I didn't even have to hold over that much, if at all. And it just kind of comes down to preference and what you like. And I wouldn't really say one is exclusively better than the other, because 45 AP as well, compared to say even like 7 and 31 9mm, or 7 and 37. I forgot what it's called now. They keep renaming things. It does the same amount of like pen for the most part, and whereas like 45 AP does more armor damage. So you could do side-by-side tests, and I think 9mm 7 and 37 and 45 AP are going to be very similar in terms of TTK. The only difference is the 45 is going to one-shot the arms. It just comes down to preference, and I prefer it that way, because like I'd rather everything be very meta and very comparable and almost the same, rather than one thing being just significantly better than the other, because that allows for the player to choose just things over preference. Like, just what do you like to use more? What do you enjoy using more? What do you find more fun? You know, what gun do you think is cooler just because you think it's a cooler gun? It just adds more variety to the game, and I think that's a good thing. It enhances the, you know, diversity of things that we see in Raid. Shrimp's a good handgun. Shrimp's also really good. It's right there, right next to the 5.7 and the 45. Like I said, they're all pretty much the same. Like if you compare them all side by side, they're all pretty much going to do the same thing. And like the advantage, say, of a 5.7 is mag capacity. It's got 20 plus 1. You know, the 45 USP has only got 12 plus 1, but it has the highest damage output. Whereas like Glocks, you can have like a fucking 30 round magazine in that thing, right? And there's a lot more customization with 9mm. Or if you're using, say, the PL15, it's like a 18 plus 1, which is still pretty good. And it just all comes down to your preference and your play style. Oh, fuck, he probably needed this for his quest, man. Shit, I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, dude, 300 Blackout's actually super sick now. I think it's a really good cartridge. I wouldn't really call it useless at all. Not in the slightest. What the fuck? Oh, that's the gun this guy had. I was like, what the fuck? Has Scav's got this? There's a lot of fucking breakies right now. Fucking Nikita fucking hit the tagged and cursed button, dude. MCX suffers from fire rate, not recoil. That's just not true, Flash. It has a 900 RPM. Dude, the scavs, this is crazy, bro. I haven't even like left my spawn area yet. I mean, and to be frank, like pretty much every gun's recoil is kind of shit now. Like full auto just is not as viable as it used to be, which I think is a really wonderful change. I still think there needs to be a little bit of balancing done though, because I don't think any rifle in the game should be able to go under 50 vertical recoil and like less than 100 and I don't know, 80 horizontal. Like every rifle in the game should be kind of shit at like full auto past 20 meters, less than that even. 10 meters. When you full auto foul, your PMC looks at the ceiling. Bro, you ever shot a full auto foul before, man? Have you ever shot any full auto 308? It is absurdly difficult to control, even for experienced shooters. Like a full auto G3, bro. Good lord. Full auto Scar, yeah, fucking forget about it. Like literally any full auto 308, you're not going to be able to control that bitch in full auto at all. It is like really fucking difficult. The only thing that you can reasonably control at full auto in 7.62 caliber is a medium machine gun like an M60, a 240 Bravo, a PKM, or a PKP. That's because those guns weigh like 30 fucking pounds loaded. Just saying how Tarkov handles it, which is honestly kind of the correct approach, man, because like like I said, I don't know if you've ever fucking shot a 308 gun in full auto before. Even with a good build and muzzle brake, it is fucking hard, and you fucking shake around, bro. Your head moves. Yeah, I understand the visual recoil. I'm not a fan of the visual recoil either. I get that. I've never really been a fan of the camera recoil personally. I fucking despise the 308 Scars IRL, but I actually quite like them in Tarkov. Yeah, I've actually handled the new non-reciprocating charging handle version of it. I'm not a Scar fan IRL. I think they're a little overrated. I mean, they're cool guns. They're just, let me just say this. They're a cool gun in video games. That's what I think about the Scar. I think it's a cool video game gun, and that is about it. I much prefer my Bren, which actually, guys, the barrel's getting cut on that thing. My Bren's finally getting the barrel cut down. I'm super excited. It's gonna be super badass. Gonna put my suppressor on it, bro. It's gonna be sexy as fuck. So the main issue with the Scar IRL is that it's light. It's a very light gun. The 5.56 one's not too much of a problem, but the 7.62, due to the way the charging handle works and how the bolt maneuvers inside the gun, it literally throws optics off of the gun. And next to that, it's very, very aggressive on the recoil due to its lightweight. Again, that's one of the advantages. Like, it's a lightweight firearm, but because it's lightweight, it makes the gun much more aggressive to shoot, which can be very uncomfortable for many shooters.